You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome to Live at 4. The Walworth County Sheriff's Office is confirming 2 people are dead after a fire over the weekend.
This was Saturday night at 5:30 on Highway 11 in the town of Spring Prairie. Deputies responded to a structure fire and found the second floor in flames. Crews with the Lyons Fire Department eventually made it into the second floor and found a man and a woman in the apartment there. Firefighters got them out of the building, but they weren't able to save either of them. The victims are 58-year-old Bradley Chapman and 83-year-old Sylvia Chapman. The county sheriff's office and medical examiner's office are investigating the incident. Well, today marks 1 year since terrorist group Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,200 people.
Yeah, that's right. This attack was the beginning of 365 days and counting of war and conflict in the Middle East and subsequent pain for many right here in Madison. Our Maddie Himes joins us now with how the local Jewish community is coming together today. Maddie.
Yeah, the conflict may be across the globe, but for many students at UW-Madison, the loss of family members and loved ones has been at the center of their world. I spoke with Greg Steinberger. He's the president and CEO of Hillel, the Jewish student organization at UW-Madison. Surrounded by photos of people who were taken hostage in last fall's attack, Steinberger tells me students he works with continue to feel the effects of the conflict right here on campus, many of them having close personal connections to the victims.
I got calls last night from folks who said, I'm having trouble sleeping. I have such anxiety. I'm worried about the hostages. I'm worried about what tomorrow brings. Will there be demonstrations, counter demonstrations? How do we grieve? Over the last 365 days, this has been probably the hardest time to support Jewish students. I've been doing this 25 years.
Hillel was founded in 1924. Steinberger tells me this year has exemplified the very feelings of otherness and exclusion that led to the formation of the organization 100 years ago. The UW-Madison Jewish community plans to gather on campus tonight at 8 to remember the victims who lost their lives last October 7th.
Thank you, Maddie. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the patio. We're still somewhere between summer and fall, Alex.
Somewhere in the middle there, but I think many would say today was really practically a perfect day. I say that every now and then because it's true. It's gorgeous out here on the patio. Sun shining in here from the west. Temperatures are comfortable. 63 degrees. That's about where we should be for this time of year. Winds not terribly strong. The dew point's low. That's dry. That means our temperatures can fall tonight. So anytime you see the dew point that's low and the humidity is low, just keep in mind that the temperatures can really tumble. And we're expecting that tonight as we plan our evening, 8 o'clock down into the 50s. 40s by the time we get to midnight here in Madison. Overnight low temperatures right around 40 degrees in Madison, upper 30s to the north and west of Madison, prompting the potential for some frost up towards Juneau and Adams counties, where we have a frost advisory until 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. But that frost is going to burn right off Tuesday with warm temperatures. We got 80s in sight. Can you believe that? 80-degree temperatures back in the forecast for southern Wisconsin, and the latest on the formidable Hurricane Milton. I have more information on all of this in a few minutes.
Thank you, Alex. Police in Middleton are looking for someone they say robbed a local restaurant. Just before 9 o'clock Saturday night, police responded to Amber Indian Cuisine on University Avenue. Employees told them a man with a brown hat and ski mask came into the restaurant, took a tip container from the counter, and then tried to leave. Employees say when they tried to stop him, he reached into his pocket claiming to have a gun, but he never showed it. He then left in his car. The investigation is ongoing and police are asking for tips. Anyone with information about this incident should call the Middleton Police Department at 608-824-7300. You can also submit a tip to the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at p3tips.com.
Well, the campaign visits to Wisconsin continue this week. Gwen Walz will be in Beloit and Madison on Wednesday. The stops will be Gwen Walz 6th and 7th in Wisconsin since her husband, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, became the Democratic nominee for vice president. According to the campaign, Walz will give remarks about abortion rights and taxes. She'll be in Beloit at 10 in the morning and in Madison at noon.
Today marks the start of National Voter Education Week, and the city of Madison wants you to celebrate. To help, its website shows one activity to do each day this week to make sure you're good to go on November 5th. On today's agenda, registering to vote. You can check to see if you're registered at myvote.wi.gov. If you've moved since the last time you registered, you have to update your registration, even if it's just a different unit in the same building. If you're not registered, the MyVote website has instructions that walk you through each step you need to take. Tomorrow's activity is Get to Know Your Ballot, and you can find the races and questions on your ballot at the MyVote website by selecting What's on My Ballot. Wednesday's activity is Making a Plan to Vote. The city has a checklist that you can use to decide which options work best for you. Thursday is the Know the Process. The Wisconsin Elections Commission has a video series showing how election processes and security procedures work. Then on Friday, encourage others to make sure they're registered, informed, and that they have a plan. The resources for all of these activities are up on thecityofmadison.com under Celebrate National Voter Education Week.
Well, this week, the Wisconsin Supreme Court will hear a challenge to Governor Tony Evers' partial veto that locked in school funding increase for the next 4 centuries. In July of 2023, Evers used his partial veto in the state's budget to increase revenue public schools can raise per student by $325 a year until 24-25. Evers took language that originally applied the increase for the 2023 to 2024 and 2024 to 2025 school years. He vetoed the 20 and the hyphen to make the end date 24-25. Now, in April of this year, the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce Litigation Center sued Evers, saying his use of the partial veto exceeded his authority. They asked the Supreme Court to step in and strike down Governor Evers' veto without waiting for the lower courts. In June of this year, the court agreed to do that. That brings us to this week. The court is scheduled to hear arguments on Wednesday. Now, this lawsuit says Evers exceeded his veto authority and his action was unconstitutional. But Evers wasn't the first governor to use this partial veto power. Wisconsin governors from both parties have long used this tactic, which is the most expansive partial veto power in the country, to reshape the state's budget. In turn, the legislature tries to craft bills that are mostly immune to creative vetoes. The court's calendar says the hearing starts at 9:45 in the morning on Wednesday.
Today, Madison Magazine's celebrating the winners of this year's Best of Madison with the Best of Madison Taste Party.
Yeah, but there's a special twist this year. That's right. Our Jalen Banks is live at the Edgewater for the festivities. Jalen, what's that twist all about?
So this is the 43rd annual Best of Madison Taste Party. This year's theme is game show theme. Now, I've seen a couple tables already setting up here. The event starts at 6 o'clock, but there's a few vendors here already setting up. I saw a Wheel of Fortune table. Now, I'm more of a Family Feud type of game show person, so hopefully we get one of those rolling here. But a lot of the vendors that are going to be here this evening are vendors that actually won different awards from this year's Best of Madison Awards. Again, this is the 43rd annual edition of it, of the Readers Poll. And tickets are available at the door. They're about $30, I believe. And again, the event starts at 6 p.m. Now, throughout the evening, I'm going to show you, some of the different foods that'll be here, talk to some of the vendors, and just give you an overall view of just how, important events like this are for the Madison food scene. And just showing you, where you guys can go out and eat. Either it's this evening or a date night later in the future. But again, going to be here all night showing you our different vendors and the food that we have here to offer in Madison. But for now, reporting at the Edgewater Hotel in downtown Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jalen. Well, still ahead, people in Florida are bracing for Hurricane Milton after just getting hit by Hurricane Helene.
A look at the evacuation orders and why damage from Helene is complicating matters. That's coming up next.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Shop the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. Lease a new Silverado 1500 starting at $355 a month, or a 24 Equinox EV starting at $299 a month. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromMadison.com.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime?
Meet Edwin Ramos. This illegal immigrant murdered 3 Americans. An MS-13 gang member. Ramos was arrested for a gun crime, but as DA, Kamala didn't prosecute him. Months later, Ramos murdered a man and his 2 sons in cold blood.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime?
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
He murdered a father of 3, sentenced to life in prison. Kamala Harris pushed to use tax dollars to pay for his sex change.
I made sure that they changed the policy so that every transgender inmate would have access.
It sounds insane because it is insane. Kamala was the first to help pay for a prisoner's sex change.
The power that I had, I used it in a way that was about pushing for the movement, frankly, and the agenda.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
The number of people crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally is at its lowest point of President Biden's administration. New information from the Department of Homeland Security shows last month, U.S. Border Patrol agents recorded stopping 54,000 people. That's 2,000 less people than the administration's previous low in July. September's numbers show migrations slowed since Biden approved sweeping measures to ban most of those entering illegally from seeking asylum.
And today is the first day of the Supreme Court's new term. Within their first day, the court left in place an order blocking the Biden administration from enforcing its policy in Texas that requires hospitals to provide abortion care or lose federal funding. It comes less than a month from an election in which abortion is a top concern for voters. The court's future rulings will be on topics ranging from guns, pornography, gender-affirming care, and the death penalty.
Buying a car is a major purchase, right? Before you decide to buy one, it's important to understand the cost beyond that sticker price. Unfortunately, right now, the price of having your own car is increasing. A new study from AAA shows the average cost to own and operate a new car is nearly $12,300 a year. That's a $115 increase from last year.
And the reason we're seeing this is due to finances. So there are very high interest rates for buying a car and also depreciation of vehicles.
The vehicles with the highest ownership costs are pickup trucks and electric vehicles. The most affordable, small sedans and hybrids. AAA also says you should get pre-approval from a financial institution before you talk about finance rates with a car dealer.
And a new study shows common arm positions during blood pressure checks are incorrect and can lead to skewed test results. You're supposed to have your arm supported on a table with the middle of the cuff positioned at heart level, but many people have their arms resting on their laps or hanging by their sides. That can lead to overestimated readings, which could be dangerous for those with hypertension.
Well, this video shows the view of Hurricane Milton from space. Milton's grown into a Category 5 storm less than 2 days after it developed in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right. Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center say this storm could strike Florida's western Gulf coast as soon as Wednesday. That area just got hit by Hurricane Helene. Now the people there are under evacuation orders again. Christian Benavides reports from St. Petersburg.
But time is going to start running out very, very soon.
A message of urgency from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, warning residents to prepare for Hurricane Milton, including removing debris left from Hurricane Helene.
We need as much of this debris picked up as possible. This creates a safety hazard, and it also will increase the damage that Milton could do with flying debris.
Ben Lando lost his truck in Helene, but hopes his business can survive another punch.
It was coming from here, there, hitting together. I was like, that's missiles, even though I have shutters on every window.
Officials along the Gulf Coast say the hurricane-force winds will also keep first responders from helping those who ignore evacuation orders.
EMS won't be there, fire department won't be there, police department won't be there, so take heed to the warnings.
Storm surge could reach as high as 12 feet in parts of the Tampa Bay area. Another problem with debris clogging up storm drains, making flooding even worse.
We're going to board up, bag up, and leave.
Residents are lining up for miles to fill sandbags and their gas tanks.
Everybody's now starting to start filling up, but yeah, things are going to get a bit hectic.
It's an exhausting effort that's becoming too frequent for some.
I mean, I have to admit, there is a moment where I said, how many more times am I going to live through this? I think every islander did.
Milton would be the first major hurricane to make direct landfall in the Tampa Bay area since 1921. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, St. Petersburg.
Now let's check in with our very own weather expert, Alex. What is the latest on this situation? How bad is this hurricane going to be?
This is a serious storm, Braden. We were just talking offline here during the package, and Hurricane Milton has actually increased in intensity yet again. Sustained winds 180 miles per hour with gusts to 220 miles per hour. This puts this right up there on the top end of Category 5 hurricanes. And just for perspective, we're used to tornadoes here in Wisconsin, and this would be upwards of an EF4, EF5 tornado. But look at the scale. Also, I want to impart through all of our newscasts this evening and throughout this week until landfall is made on Wednesday about hurricane science. What we see here with our satellite imagery is a very beautiful circle. I shouldn't call this beautiful, but it's a concentric circle. Whenever you have that circle very, very clear, that's usually a sign of a very strong hurricane. Also, when the eye itself starts to get smaller, that's the same as a figure skater that's spinning, bringing their arms in. That means the storm is spinning faster and increasing in its intensity. This is what we're expecting with Milton staying a formidable Category 5 hurricane coming out into the Gulf of Mexico, widening, meaning it gets larger. That means the storm surge potential increases and likely making landfall near Tampa Bay Monday evening as a strong Category 4, Category 3 hurricane. We'll be keeping a close eye on this. And again, I will part additional hurricane science. We go to school for this. We're trained in this as well, even though we don't usually have tropical features that make it this far north. And our three things that you need to get out of the forecast: beautiful weather, 70s returning quickly today, warm as we head towards Friday, 80 degrees weather coming back to southern Wisconsin and staying dry. Planning our night tonight, beautiful this evening, a little on the cooler side than those 70s and 80s we've been experiencing, but still a nice evening for Madison and all of southern Wisconsin. A couple upper 30s, a possibility to the north up towards Camp Douglas, over towards Marquette and Green Lake counties, and that brings the potential for a little bit of patchy frost again, well to the north of Madison. So if you're in Juneau and Adams counties, you might want to consider bringing in any of those tender plants that you still have outside. Highs tomorrow, upper 60s to lower 70s. That's north of normal, meaning that's above normal. And standing out of the way here, so you could look at the next 10 days. There's that 81 on Friday. We go back down to 60 next Monday. That's normal. That's normal for this time of year. And then the temperatures climb right back up again next week. So we go back to above normal weather next week.
Thank you, Alex. Still ahead, we'll preview an interview on CBS with a woman who survived captivity under Hamas.
Yeah, hear her message to the Israeli Prime Minister when we're back.
Pumpkins
and gourds
and moms.
Oh my!
We're off to see the Bruce Company. That was cute. It is always a good day when I get to come back to the Bruce Company because it has been a few months.
It has been. It's been spring since I've seen you, and now it's fall. My favorite time of year. How about you?
It is definitely one of my favorites because of the color and how easy it is to decorate, and you're just like ready to change
And it's
things.
so natural because, you know, you put in a few pumpkins, a couple of corn stalks, some mums or kale, and you can instantly update all of those summer pots that are looking a little faded.
And if you are like me and every year you kind of put the same things in the same spot, do something different. Come here, look at all of their little areas that they all have decorated and get inspired to do something different. It's gonna make you feel better.
I want this on my porch.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Fall Fest. Such
Okay.
a great event for the entire family.
It is like our 14th one. It is Saturday, October 12th. Fun for the whole family. There will be petting zoo, pumpkin painting, face painting, all sorts of activities, free for the whole family. So a really great time.
The kids are going to come and they're going to love it. And then a couple weeks later, you have the Autumn Artisan Fair.
Yes.
What is that?
Quite a tongue twister. So the Autumn Artisan Fair is when we welcome local makers and bakers and creators to come and set up here. It's a great time to do some early Christmas shopping, and that is on October 26th.
A lot of great local products, which everybody loves, and get some Christmas shopping done,
Yeah,
right?
early, right?
Some for some people, some for you, one each one. Come to the Bruce Company, get inspired, because it's fall, people, and it's the best time to decorate. For Lisa, I'm Emmy, and
we are buzzed in Madison.
We are.
Old windows? Compromise your home's comfort. Vinyl windows, a 1970s relic, aren't built for extreme weather. They warp and crack, becoming vulnerable to the elements. At Next Door & Window, we have the answer. Fiberglass. Our Ultrex fiberglass windows last up to 50 years, longer than any other window you can buy. And while other companies cut corners and never call you back, we've got your back. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
He murdered a father of 3, sentenced to life in prison. Kamala Harris pushed to use tax dollars to pay for his sex change.
I made sure that they changed the policy so that every transgender inmate would have access.
It sounds insane because it is insane. Kamala was the first to help pay for a prisoner's sex change.
The power that I had, I used it in a way that was about pushing for the movement, frankly, and the agenda.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Today marks 1 year since Hamas launched attacks in Israel, killing more than 1,200 people and kidnapping more than 250 others.
One of those kidnapped is Aviva Siegel, who was taken from her home and held hostage in tunnels underneath Gaza. She was released during a brief ceasefire in November last year, but her husband was not. And now she continues to advocate for the release of him and the others still being held by Hamas. CBS News anchor and national correspondent Errol Barnett spoke to Aviva, and she has a message for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I want Bibi Netanyahu and the whole world to understand that killing is not right, and starving and what they're doing and leaving the hostages in Gaza is the most cruelest thing in earth. I was there. I know exactly what it feels. And it just is the cruelest thing to leave Keith and the hostages there to die slowly. I just hope that Keith is strong enough and is keeping his hope. And we're waiting for him. And all the families here are waiting for their loved ones.
Well, since last October 7th, almost 42,000 people have been killed in Israel's assault on Gaza.
Earlier, I sat down with CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett to talk about his latest interview with Siegel 1 year after she was taken hostage. Now, you spoke with Aviva Siegel today. Tell me what she told you about her experience being taken hostage a year ago today.
For more than 50 days, she experienced abuse. She says that she experienced starvation and even witnessing other hostages being abused physically, emotionally, mentally. She didn't feel confident enough to even be able to scream. And she spoke to me about experiencing that horror, but not being able to say a word, and in fact communicating with some of the other hostages just with her eyes. She was ultimately released during one of the few ceasefires and hostage release incidents that happened last year, but her husband Keith is still in captivity. She said the last thing she said to him was, "You be strong for me and I'll be strong for you."
And did she tell you, did she talk to you about, does she know the condition of her husband right now? When's the last time she heard anything, any news of him at all?
No, Braden, that was the moment when she said, you know, be strong for me, I'll be strong for you. She, while speaking with me, was wearing a T-shirt with Keith's image on it, and she's hoping and praying that he is still alive, and that last exchange that she had with him is what keeps her going and keeps her optimistic. But in reality, many of the hostages have been killed. In fact, today, the day that we're speaking, Hamas announced that one hostage was killed last year on October 7th. but they've kept the body since then. It's just one of the levels of trauma and despair that are part of this ongoing war.
And obviously a year later, did she talk about how her view of this situation has changed over the last year?
It's a great question. I don't know that her views had necessarily changed, but I do think the fact that she's not only calling out the atrocities of Hamas, but also acknowledging that Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel, who has continued this campaign of war despite the U.S. saying that a ceasefire needs to be reached and that the hostilities need to end. Most Israelis, by a slim margin, do support the hostages being released and a ceasefire. The problem is that what is done after that cannot be agreed upon. Most Palestinians and those negotiating want a two-state solution, a home for Palestinian people in the Middle East. For Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government, that's not something that they currently have agreed to.
And 1 year later, we're still seeing more escalations of this violence. I mean, just last week we saw Iran attack Israel. We saw Israel get involved in conflict now with Lebanon. Is there an end in sight?
Well, the way that you laid out recent events kind of tells you everything. In fact, when Iran launched its missile attack on Israel, I was anchoring a special report and watched the footage as it came into our newsroom live, and it's unnerving. Sirens sound all over Israel, telling people to go to their basements and their shelters to be protected. Meantime, missile interception systems, some described as the Iron Dome and others, were flying overhead, intercepting the Iranian missiles. And that missile attack was in response to Israel attacking Hezbollah. In the years since Hamas attacked Israel, this thing has only expanded to include a country like Iran, which is on its way to becoming perhaps a nuclear power. And so it's very unnerving that recent events demonstrate that the death of people, the trauma of civilians and innocent people who are not part of any of these militant groups or official militaries are being impacted and traumatized by what is an ongoing and widening war.
Well, Errol, thank you so much for your reporting on this. We will certainly continue to follow what unfolds next.
Sure. Great to speak with you.
Now you can watch Errol's full interview with Aviva on the CBS YouTube channel.
Still ahead on Live at 4, more 3 for the People coverage.
A preview of Tanisha Shaw's reporting on the impact of the black vote when we're back.
This is Good News, Madison. Brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
Overture Center's mission is to support and elevate the community's creative culture through the arts. So 2024 marks the 20th anniversary of the opening of Overture Center for the Arts, and we are celebrating all of what we call the O moments that people experience when they come to Overture.
And that is Good News, Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
We're still going for that nice catch.
We're still going for that perfect pizza. And with higher stroke risk from AFib not caused by a heart valve problem,
we're going for a better treatment than warfarin. Eliquis. Eliquis reduces stroke risk and has less major bleeding. Over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke.
Don't stop taking Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
The #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner. Ask your doctor about Eliquis.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her Woke Genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
Senator Baldwin claims she's doing something about the fentanyl crisis and says she got a major fentanyl bill passed. But Senator Baldwin is lying. The bill's main sponsor, Senator Tim Scott, had this to say.
As the primary sponsor, I've never had a single conversation with Cammie about this bill, period.
Career politicians like Senator Baldwin are always lying about something. Senator Baldwin, she's extreme, radical, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Join us at the Madison Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Don't miss your chance to visit the area's top newly constructed homes filled with the latest trends and technology. Go to MadisonFallParadeOfHomes.com and purchase your tickets today.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Oh, what a beautiful view out
You're
there.
kidding. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind not living my best fall life if we're still having little tastes of summer at the lake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would like to see some colors changing, maybe some sweaters, but that's just me. That's just me.
Well, lucky for us, beautiful weather continues.
And we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to sweater weather.
Braden wants her sweater and her pumpkin spice latte.
I had pumpkin coffee too this morning. I get it. I'm ready for a little bit of more fall, but it's like what Grandma Harrington says. It is what it is, right? You can't change it. And it's beautiful out here. Sunny skies right now. Our temperatures down into the upper 30s. Just that tiny little taste of fall this morning, but we climb back up into the lower 60s this afternoon. Beautiful time lapse here from our Upland Hills sponsored Skycam in Dodgeville, showing the beauty of the day. Lots of blue skies, enter the blue shades. We had a few clouds eventually filter into southern Wisconsin. As we moved into the afternoon hours, you'll see those eventually fill up the screen here, coming from right to left. So these clouds came in from the west and northwest across southern Wisconsin, but we still have a few of those high, thin, wispy cirrus clouds out there right now to make the day, again, a little bit different. It wasn't sunny the entire day. We had a couple of those clouds out there. And with clearing skies, though, tonight, temperatures will cool on down. That radiation can go out to space. That allows the temperatures to cool on down. We're going to do upper 30s where they have frost advisories for Juneau and Adams counties till 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. And speaking of fall, harvest is going out there just fine and dandy, to my understanding, talking to my farmer friends, because we've had dry weather, we've had warm weather. Here's a forecast for all of southern Wisconsin, too. Starting off upper 30s, lower 40s, getting up to right around 60 to 65 by lunch hour. You see all green corn here. That means no rain, light winds. A gorgeous day is expected. A little bit more about our roller coaster and temperatures. When do we hit 80? When are we back down to 60? And continuing to impart hurricane science as Hurricane Milton approaches the U.S. coast of Florida.
Well, Alex, thank you. I hope we never hit 80 again.
You're ready. You've had it up to here with summer.
I'm done. Well, today, Madison Magazine's celebrating the winners of its Best of Madison competition.
Jalen Banks is live at the Edgewater. So, Jalen, how's it going there?
So far, everything's so good, Brady and Braden. Right now, I'm joined by Madison Magazine's editor, Andy Bailing. So, Andy, you're directly involved with everything that goes on. I gave a brief overview as far as what to expect in tonight's event, but with you being so hands-on, what should everybody at home expect?
Yeah, so we are starting this event. We're still setting up right now, but people are going to grab their tasting glasses, and this is an unlimited drink and food sampling event. So people walk around, and we've got amazing vendors here today.
Speaking of those vendors, how many should we expect here, and then also what are some different foods that we should expect?
Yeah, yep, we've got almost 20 vendors, and it's everything from Ian's Pizza to Gail Ambrosius is bringing their chocolates. We've got a lot of top shelf spirits here as well. We've got Driftless Glen and Wallersheim, so it's a very fun little tasting event that you get to try a little bit of everything, and a lot of our vendors are also on the Best of Madison winners list, so we're celebrating them too.
So with that, what was the response that you guys had gotten from, our viewers and people out in the Madison community as far as what they were looking for in terms of the Best of Madison?
Yeah, this is just a really fun event to be able to celebrate not only the winners, but the people that vote in our readers poll. It's 43 years old, and people in Madison have been telling us who they think is the best for many years. So this is a celebration for everyone in town, just to kind of celebrate our local businesses.
All right, well, sounds good. Any food you're looking forward to tasting this evening?
I need to get one of Gail's chocolates for sure. Roth cheese is here too, so I might do a little cheese and chocolate pairing and go for a drink somewhere too.
Wouldn't be a Madison, Wisconsin-based event without tasting some cheese, am I right?
Right.
All
yeah,
right, well,
totally.
Sounds good. Thank you, Andy. So Andy will be with me, our next hit in the show. We're going to be going over tonight's theme, and we may be playing a game or two, but for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Andy. I wish that we had some samples.
Yeah, bring some back,
Yeah.
please, Jalen, if you can still hear us.
You know, you can just put it out on the desk.
I'll try.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, Wall Street sliding today. The Dow losing nearly 400 points, NASDAQ down 214, and the S&P down 55.
Well, it has been 1 year since Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking hundreds more hostage. Israel declared war on the group and has killed tens of thousands of Palestinians in retaliation. Both presidential campaigns are taking time to mark the somber day today. Governor Tim Walz met with the survivor of those attacks and toured the Nova exhibit in California. It's dedicated to the victims of the Hamas attack who were attending the Nova Music Festival. Vice President Harris will plant a pomegranate tree in honor of the victims later today. And on the other side of the aisle, Senator J.D. Vance went to a Standing with Israel rally in March, and former President Donald Trump met with Jewish leaders in New York today.
We also have a statement from the president who honored the victims with a candle lighting ceremony at the White House. It reads in part, "On this solemn anniversary, let us bear witness to the unspeakable brutality of the October 7th attacks, but also to the beauty of the lives that were stolen that day. Today and every day, I think of the hostages and their families."
And of course, the war between Israel and Hamas is one of the critical issues we're talking about during our 3 for the People coverage. This week, our Tanisha Shaw talked to experts and voters about the impact of the black vote in battleground Wisconsin.
Definitely a big priority, and amongst most of my peers, I would also say it's a great priority to them. But unfortunately, I do feel like many of us feel almost hopeless in a sense that no matter who we vote for, we might not see a distinct change. While I think many of us do believe that there is a better candidate that has the potential to pave the way for the future that we do want to see, I do not think that many of us are exactly 100% confident that, okay, voting for this person will put an end to what we want to see end.
Now, those voters also talked about their stance with issues like the economy, immigration, and more. The experts broke down how Black Americans in Wisconsin could have a huge impact in the 2024 election this November. That full story airs tonight at 6.
Sunday began National Fire Prevention Week, and the Madison Fire Department is joining in to raise awareness about ways that you can protect yourselves and your family.
News 3 Now's Kyle Pazorski shares some of those tips.
When it comes to fire prevention, there is one simple thing you can do to make sure your home is safe, and that is by having a working smoke alarm.
The smoke alarm tells you it's time to get out.
Madison Fire Marshal Bill Sullivan says fire injuries and death are preventable. A national statistic states roughly 3 out of 5 fire deaths happen in homes without a working smoke alarm, or none at all. And that's why during Fire Prevention Week, MFD is hoping the public will take action checking their home's alarms. You can do this in 3 steps. First, by installing an alarm in each bedroom and on every floor. Second, testing at least once a month. And 3, replacing when they are 10 years old or when they stop responding when tested. Doing these easy steps can save a life.
If everybody took care of themselves first by thinking about, hey, make sure you're standing by your pan when you're cooking, don't go answer the door. Those are the kind of things we want people to be proactive about, and then hopefully then if we're proactive, we don't have to roll the big red rigs.
Sullivan further says the department plans to visit each of Madison's elementary schools for Fire Prevention Week with the goal to get the youngest members of our community informed about fire safety to take back to their homes. In Madison, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. Detailed ways to take action on these tips can be found on cityofmadison.com/news.
Up next on Live at 4, we check back in with Jalen at the Best of Madison Taste Party.
Plus, the City of Madison's pedestrian mall experiment is ending soon. How to give the city your feedback on that experiment.
It's the pre-holiday sale at Denver Mattress, and that means everything is on sale. Like the Queen Size Summit, now only $332.49, or get 48 months no interest and free shipping. The pre-holiday sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Champion's Big Window Sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy 2, you get 2 free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
Oh, the weather. What's the chance of rain tomorrow?
Ooh, 80%. I make it rain. I make it rain.
Speaking of making it rain, at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, we have an average 95% payout, which leads you to more chances of playing longer and more chances to win big. Play longer, win more, chances are you're gonna like it.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
It's the pre-holiday sale at Denver Mattress, and that means everything is on sale. Like the Queen Size Summit, now only $332.49, or get 48 months no interest and free shipping. The pre-holiday sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Tonight we mark a somber anniversary, 1 year since the deadliest attack in Israel's history. Coming up at 5, local Jewish leaders reflect on the ongoing conflict and its impact here at home.
Seasonally cool conditions will last tonight with the possibility of a little bit of frost north of Madison. Then a beautiful day is on tap for Tuesday, when you could expect to hit 80 degrees, and when is the next chance of rain at 5.
And ahead at 6, what black voters in Dane County demand from candidates in the hot-button issues driving their choices. See how their voices are shaping the political landscape tonight at 6.
Oh, hello. Welcome back. Right now, the City of Madison is looking for your feedback on the State Street Pedestrian Mall experiment.
Well, that's right. You have just a few weeks left to, quote, flock to state before the pedestrian mall experiment ends. It began back in May, closing the 400 to 600 blocks of State Street to all non-emergency vehicle traffic. This allowed pedestrians and people on bikes to use the street space. Madison's Central Business Improvement District scheduled multiple community events for the pedestrian space, from musical performances to activities designed for family fun.
Whether it's, families looking for something to do on a weekend, maybe you visit the farmer's market and find an event down here on State Street and make a whole day of it. It was sort of that idea of getting more people to come down to State Street, experience what the shops and everything in this area has to offer, and really take advantage of the unique space.
Now, the vehicle restrictions for those blocks of State Street will end on October 31st. We have a link to the feedback website and also the schedule of free events happening this month online on channel3000.com.
Yeah, people were flocking down there this summer.
It was kind of awesome, I will say.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I was there when they were painting the big circles on the street, and it was like kind of cool. The mayor was down and dirty painting in the street and everything.
Yeah, that artwork was pretty cool. All right, here's something else that's pretty cool. Let's check back in with Jalen live at the Edgewater, participating in the Best of Madison's Taste Party. Hey, Jalen.
Hey, Brady and Braden. Andy Bailing's still with me here. So Andy, tonight's theme, can you let the people at home know exactly what it is?
Yes, our theme this year is game show. So that was in our magazine, and we kind of carry that through to the event too. So our vendors, some of our vendors are having a lot of fun with the theme as well. So I'm excited for people to come taste but also maybe play some games.
We were talking a little bit off air. Do you think anybody's going to come with a bald cap and a mustache and pull out the Steve Harvey look or no?
Oh my God, I hope so. I hope at least one person comes.
I considered it, but I don't think our news director would have cleared it, so I left it alone. All right, so we have a bit of a game of our own.
Yeah.
We have Madison Magazine Plinko. We have some prizes here at the bottom once the puck lands. Andy, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, me first. Okay, let's see what I get here. Come on.
Candy.
Oh, candy.
Which is pretty fitting for tonight. With all the food and everything going on.
I was going for the Badgers tickets, though, for UW men's basketball.
All right, let's see. My plan is just to not land on nothing, so I got a pretty good chance. Let's see. 3, 2, 1.
Come on. Ooh. Oh, you won Restaurant Week tickets.
So another Best of Madison restaurant, foodie scene type of prize here. But yes, game show, game show themed here this evening. Hopefully we get some pretty decent costumes, but as I've seen this evening, a decent bit of the tables have different game show themes themselves. I see The Price is Right, also saw the Wheel of Fortune, and then obviously we have like our Plinko board here, where I don't know if we're allowed to win the prizes, but people that come in tonight will be able to. So for those at home that may be interested in coming tonight, what time does it start, and can they still get tickets?
Yes, 6 to 9. You can just walk in and buy a ticket at the door. They're $30. It's unlimited drink and sampling.
All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you so much, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll check back in with them to see if we could get the prizes. But all right, I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio for now. Reporting at the Edgewater Hotel, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. I think you should grow a Steve Harvey mustache, Jalen.
I was going to say, you should have checked with me. I keep a fake mustache in my desk, so I could have just passed it along to you.
Yeah, just for emergency. A mustache emergency.
Emergency just like this.
Yeah. Alrighty, we gotta go.
Okay.
Well, did Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga sing their way to the top of the box office, or did the new Joker fall flat?
I've heard it's fallen a little flat. Will Loper has a look at the weekend film when we return.
Nobody wants to replace the roof, but these days many roofs are only lasting 10 to 15 years, costing you tens of thousands of dollars. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it. RoofMax treatments, started early enough, can extend the life of your roof by 15 years or more. And even if you think your roof is at the end of its life, 90% of the time, RoofMax can extend the life of your roof by 5 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. So give us a call and we'll give you a free assessment to see if your roof qualifies.
Joan Baldwin wants to ban abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and when the mother's life is at risk.
And would jail doctors who perform them.
Baldwin voted to ban birth control, too, and to deny rape victims emergency contraception.
Banning all abortions and birth control? No one wants to tell you what to do with your body more than Joan Baldwin.
But she can't tell you what to do with your vote.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her Woke Genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
Career politicians like Peter Barca will say anything to get elected. His latest negative ad against Brian Style, it's been called blatantly false. The truth, Style has always supported IVF. He co-sponsored a resolution supporting IVF. And Style backs legislation to help families afford IVF. Peter Barca can sling mud, but we deserve better than just another lying career politician.
I'm Brian Style, and I approve this message.
Senator Baldwin claims she's doing something about the fentanyl crisis and says she got a major fentanyl bill passed. But Senator Baldwin is lying. The bill's main sponsor, Senator Tim Scott, had this to say.
As the primary sponsor, I've never had a single conversation with Cammie about this bill, period.
Career politicians like Senator Baldwin are always lying about something. Senator Baldwin, she's extreme, radical, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Every holiday season, you have in-laws in despair, the twins in the office, and Uncle Teddy on the sofa. Sounds like it's time for a serious sleep upgrade. During the pre-holiday sale at Denver Mattress. Shop today and save because everything is on sale. Like the Queen Size Summit, now only $332.49. Shop our Doctor's Choice Original lineup starting at only $664.99. And get a $300 gift when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic. Or get 48 months no interest and free shipping. The pre-holiday sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Braden keeps making me laugh during the commercial break. I'm going to try to get through this as best I can.
I won't even look at you.
Okay, well, the new Joker film seems to be the butt of a lot of jokes online after a lukewarm opening at the box office.
Will Loper has a look at the film's debut in the Loper Report.
Well, after 2019's Joker made $1 billion at the box office, it's a bit of a disappointment that its sequel, Joker Folie à Deux, finished with just $40 million. But is the musical take on Batman's greatest villain worth seeing?
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
the trial of the century.
They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr.
Joaquin Phoenix returns as Arthur Fleck, now in jail and facing trial for the murders from the first film.
How about you, Arthur? Do you still think you're a star?
He meets Lee, played by Lady Gaga, and a romance begins, often accompanied by musical numbers. Although there's some stylish fun to be found in the singing sections, on the whole, Joker Folie à Deux is a long, bleak, punishing film that's well acted, but almost never enjoyable.
Let's get out of here.
You're safe in skipping this Joker sequel. Also new in theaters is the film The Outrun.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear you say that again. I wish you were a completely different person.
Saoirse Ronan plays Rona, who's returned home after going through rehab for alcoholism.
The urge to drink can come out of nowhere. You think you're doing well. Suddenly you want nothing more than a drink.
The film's plot jumps forward and backward through time to reveal Rona's story in heartbreaking detail.
I'm scared. I miss it. I miss how good it made me feel.
Ronan gives a career best performance in the film that's a powerful look at addiction and its effects. The Outrun is absolutely worth seeing and is playing in theaters now. For Live at 4, I'm Will Logan.
Alex, will you be seeing Joker Folie à Deux?
Probably not. All attention, though, right now. No movies for me this week because all my attention right now is on Hurricane Milton, imparting science to southern Wisconsin because, believe it or not, we have some of the greatest tropical experts in Madison, Wisconsin at the Cooperative Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies. Went to school with those folks, and here's a couple ingredients that hurricanes need in order to develop and to thrive. Warm sea surface temperatures, minimal land impacts, and weak winds high up in the sky. Hurricanes are just a giant heat engine, so when you have these ingredients, you get explosive development or rapid intensification, just like what we've seen here with Milton, now a formidable Category 5 hurricane with winds. This is about as strong as they get, 180 with gusts to 220 miles per hour. On all eyes and attention again on Florida and the first warm weather team. We are thinking about you folks in Florida. Our weather is anything but that over the course of the next 10 days. Relatively quiet overall. We'll see temperatures climbing all the way up to 81 degrees, Braden, and I know you don't want an 81 again, but it's there for a day. Cold front comes through. We cool on down with temperatures back to near normal for this time of year, 60 degrees. There's a fall-like day for you, Braden, and southern Wisconsin, but the temperatures are going to kind of inch their way back up to near 70 degrees as we head towards Thursday of next week. Rain chances, unfortunately, not very high as well over the course of the next 10 days. Just a slight chance of a shower Friday through Sunday, and maybe a shower or storm Thursday in the following week. We'll be right back.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
I worked as a truck driver for 36 years.
And then one day I got this letter.
Your retirement will be cut.
Will be cut in half.
You don't forget something like that.
Every paycheck we put money away. But because of Wall Street greed, boom, it was gone. But Tammy Baldwin saw what they were doing and wrote a bill to save our retirement.
Then she fought like hell to pass it.
What Tammy Baldwin did for our families, you don't forget something like that.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. Pumpkins are just $2.99. 3-panel folding lights, only $1.99. Keep out the cold with expanding foam sealant, just $3.79. 12 packs of Shasta soda are only $4.29. Plus, sign up in store for a chance to win a GMC Sierra. Hurry, these hot deals won't last long. Sign up for Menards emails to get more big savings, plus the weekly flyer right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
Well, take a look at this. 2-year-old Nibby the beaver is in the center of controversy in Massachusetts after being found on the side of the road. She's been taken care of at a rescue center, but wildlife officials tried to have her go back into the wild, which her caretaker said would put her in danger.
It's okay, though. The governor ended up stepping in, and he let her stay in the only home she's ever had. How sweet.
Look at that.
Look at that
Nibby's
beaver.
thriving and having a little buffet right there.
Oh.
All right. We'll be right back.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her woke genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
Nobody wants to think about cold weather, but now's the time to winterproof your home. Is your house cold every winter? Your home needs foam. Are your heating costs too high? Your home needs foam. Do you have different temperatures in different rooms? Your home needs foam. USA Premium Foam is over 35% more efficient than ordinary, weaker insulation. Winterproof now and get 0% financing for 72 months.
USA Insulation.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Don't mind me. I'm just the flu. I'm quite harmless, really. And when people ask, but aren't you linked to dangerous flu complications like pneumonia, heart attack, and hospitalizations? I just say, but I'm just the flu.
It's him.
Who? I'm just the flu.
Demand more from your flu shot. Sanofi higher dose flu vaccines are proven to provide better flu protection than standard dose flu shots in older adults. They've even been shown to better protect against flu-related complications.
Don't get Fluzone high dose if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components, including egg products, or after previous dose of flu vaccine. Don't get Flu Block if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components. Tell your healthcare professional if you've had severe muscle weakness after a flu shot.